CrochetBox has these crochet kits, and there's several different to choose from. This particular one is the Bigfoot, and it is a learn how to crochet stuffed animal gift. This is great for adults and teenagers, and this does come with everything that you need to make your little buddy. I love that they have a variety of different animal boxes to choose from, like dog, pig, parrot, octopus, bat, shark, etc. There's a lot of variety in those options, and I think that's very appealing. They also include a tutorial with the different kit that you get, and there is a QR code where you can go in and find additional information about the kit that you have, and it also does have detailed instructions of how to do the pattern. I did like that feature on the app, and I did appreciate that there was different instructions and videos on how to start crocheting if you don't know. And with that, they also have an instruction booklet that comes with the kit that does have little tips and tricks on how to crochet and kind of get the basics down. Another positive thing about this kit is I love the materials that they chose. The yarn is cloud soft, and it does have a batting inside of the yarn, which makes your buddy a bit more cushiony, and it just really adds a nice texture to your buddy. And then there's different types of yarn for different pieces of the character. Like, for instance, my Bigfoot has a different kind of yarn for his hair versus for his body. I also really enjoyed the fact that this kit included everything you would need for it. So that included the eyes, the stitch markers, the stuffing, the crochet hook, the yarn for sewing, and all the yarn balls for crocheting, and of course the tutorial and the instruction manual, as well as a metal and a plastic needle. The plastic needle felt useless to me personally because I broke it the first time trying to use it, but the metal needle was really great and did come in handy throughout the whole making of the kit. I also want to be very transparent about things I didn't love about this kit. One of them being that the pattern was not completely consistent with the image. For example, the legs of the Bigfoot calls for brown on the pattern, but the image of the legs are actually beige. I felt like that was inconsistent, and as the user creating the buddy, I could have just easily changed the color. But I'm following a pattern, so I'm following what they recommend, and I felt like they should have recommended the beige to go with what was on the image. I also felt like there were some areas in the pattern that were not correctly printed, and it was very confusing, particularly when it would say part 1, part 2 again instead of part 3. That was confusing. And there were some areas where part 6 was below part 2, and then it was part 7, part 8. So things were out of order, and that was very confusing for me as the user. And although I do think their app is great and has a lot of good detail, I did find myself having to resort to YouTube to get a little bit more information on what I needed to do for the next step. And the last thing I will mention is this is labeled as a beginner kit, and I absolutely think that you do need a bit more knowledge about crocheting to do this particular kit. I do believe that some of the other ones would be easier for a beginner, but this Bigfoot one in particular was more challenging than beginner level, in my opinion, and that's coming from someone who knits at home. With all that being said, I would still definitely recommend this for a gift or somebody who loves to crochet. There are other kits that this brand offers, and I think that they do have the potential to be great for beginners. And all of this comes into a neat little box package. It was really fun to sit and crochet through it. It was great to watch my little buddy come alive. And I added some things to it that made it more personable to me and my style. For instance, I made his body quite a bit bigger than the actual pattern called for because I wanted him to be more fluffy. And I think that's really great that there is a lot of potential to do that and to work it in the way that you see fit as the user. Overall, I thought it was very cute. I had a ton of fun making it, and I definitely would recommend it to users, especially those who are interested in crochet.